on, Foxy. It's your birthday. Not for real, just for play. This is Cree Summer, and Moana Nui will be right back.
Empowering our next panel to be the good, the bad, and the ugly indie creators in the mainstream. So we have a heavy hitters on the stage that we have here. We're going to have each of them to introduce themselves. So we're going to start with our first panelist.
Yep. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our panel. It's a pleasure to be here at Atlantic Comic Con. My name is Moana McAdams, and Dana and I are here with the Moana Nui Podcast. And we are joined with some of our favorite friends and creators today. Some of you, I hope everybody here already knows them, but if you don't, this will be a great time to learn a little bit more about their work and what they're doing.
Introduce yourself because you're part of the panelists too.
Okay, yes. I always forget to introduce myself. So my name is Moana McAdams. I am the writer of the children's book series, The Adventures of Nakoa and Nohea, and I'm also a cultural consultant currently working on Disney's Lilo and Stitch comic book series, and then some other future projects that'll be coming out in 2025 that we can't talk about yet.
We need to talk about that.
We're not going to talk about those.
No?
Nah.
What am I supposed to do?
Introduce
yourself and what you're working on.
Hi, my name is Burnham. I am a writer, publisher, and sometimes an editor. So I started off,
Yeah.
I started off many moons ago.
Let me hold for you.
You shut up. So many moons ago, me and this guy here, he had cornrows back then. It was funny. But yeah, we started off, we made this book like 20 plus years ago. And with that, we realized we know how to make cool stuff. We just had no idea how the business stuff works. So it was like a successful failure. We were selling books, but we were losing money. So then we moved on. Many years later, what's that? Took some years. Was kind of our flagship. We released it, and we had no idea that people were going to lose their minds for it. So we started on that, and then that just kind of spiraled into more stuff. So I do a book called Search for Sonic Club. I don't know what's going to come next. Newer book called Little Rock Files. And then I've done a few stories for DC Comics, like in their anthologies. I've done 3 so far altogether, and I'm going to pass the microphone around.
Can we reach?
Joke's on you. The microphone. Oh, you were standing.
Sabotage.
Sabotage.
Hello everyone, I'm David Crownson. I'm the founder of Cleveland Comics and the writer-creator of Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer. We're selling the comic here and all that good stuff. It's also going to be a TV show on Disney, produced by Prince Penny. I got a couple other books coming out called Killer Bee and Nightmare in New York. And I'm very happy to be here. Yes. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I'll pass it to the globally famous partner of this gentleman who needs no introduction. Hey, so I'm Marcus Williams, also known as Marcus the Visual online. I'm a character designer / writer / illustrator. And they keep charging me rent. I don't know why. But no, I've worked with Greg, like I said, for nearly over 20 years now. He ain't showing his children's books. That's actually our first successful published. His children's books with that guy. But no, currently I'm
I've done some work for Marvel. I'm doing a Popeye the Sailor Man comic. It's called I Like Popeye. It's going to be dropping this month on the 28th at your local comic shops. If they don't have it, you can like go in and grab them by the shoulder or the collar and just request. But I'm writing and drawing a Popeye the Sailor Man comic, which is weird because they've never had an action comic for Popeye the Sailor Man, which is dumb. They've only had comic strips and the cartoon, but it's been a roller coaster ride, and so I'm trying to raise money to stop doing commissions. So if you guys want my Cash App, let me know, and we'll get that going. Don't sit down nothing.
With all three of you being known in the con industry, and most people are concerned about having their original IP being brought to a major company and it continue to be true to what you created. How was that path for all four of you in writing these stories and having a mainstream publisher or show or Disney or anything like that to take that story and fight those battles to keep it true?
So I can speak on what I'm currently working on with Lilo and Stitch. For those of you who may not be familiar with it, it's based on a 2000 Disney animation film which takes place on the island of Kauai, which happens to be my home island. So when I'm writing for this particular IP, I'm trying to put authenticity into the story and a lot of the nuances of what it's like growing up in Hawaii, the family dynamics, the cultural dynamics, things like that. But unfortunately, a lot of times with Disney, that's like the stuff that they want to take out because they're trying to, keep it within their brand and who they feel like their main audience is. So it takes a lot of flexibility, at least I'm learning. Like they have a lot more experience than I do, but what I'm learning is, it's try to do as much of your voice as you can, but then still be flexible and try to find other ways to maneuver within their universe so that you can still incorporate the ideas and some of the concepts that you want. But you still have to respect Disney's IP, right? Because I would want the same respect. If somebody's writing my universe and I was producing it, I would want you to stay consistent with my brand too. So there's two sides of the coin every time you're working, whether it's your IP or working in somebody else's world.
So for me, and I say us because Marcus and I run this team together, I don't know if we're mature enough to let these people have our stuff. People think we're joking when we tell them we decline offers, we decline meetings with people because we already feel like you're not aligned. And I'm talking about real people. We're if we can't preserve for Tuskegee Airs. I tried with Sautica. I started the pitch process, and then I was I just want to keep this. I don't trust that anybody will do it the way we want. We're not we work for other people. Like I said, I do stuff for DC, and I'm actually developing some stuff made to pitch, which is different because that's not my kid. Tuskegee Airs is our child. The Search for Sautica is our child. But some of this other stuff is it's just a kid that might live down the street, and I don't want, get out of here, kid. So I think for me, that was how I came to terms with it. Is there are certain things I'm going to develop to pitch and sell, and that's fine. The stuff that I love, that I'm doing, with blood, sweat, and tears. And then the other side of that is when you get to work with some of these other companies. I love what Marcus with Popeye, he was yo, they said I can do whatever I want. I'm that's beautiful, right? Because I wrote a Superman story, and I'm very happy with the Superman story, but I'm trying to add little stuff, and they're yeah, sorry, we're not gonna be able to.
Exactly.
I'm like, but this would be cool. And I'm like, yeah, no, I know it would be cool. Wait, we're not allowed to do it. So, you know, you get kind of a balance, but there's certain stuff, like, I feel like culturally and even spiritually, I don't want certain people to put their filthy hands on it. So we can get the deal. We almost had the deal a few years ago where we get to do, you know, we get like total creative control. We'll do that. But most people that are going to put millions of dollars into your project ain't going to let that happen.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like I said, we still got some maturity. Or maybe we just got to get to the rock bottom.
The right one.
Be like, anybody want this testimony? Don't hit rock bottom.
Maybe that's it, man.
It's like, I gotta starve it.
Like, it's either me or you, or we sell this.
I got it. What's wrong with y'all?
What happened?
Wait, so the question is,
Your IP, they're taking your IP into mainstream and trying to preserve your IP.
okay, yeah, the question is trying to preserve IP over in the industry, and that can happen, like a whole bunch of crazy things will happen. Like the bad version, like I got offered, like in 2019, I got offered a obscene amount of money to have someone like that's not Harriet Tubman play Harriet Tubman. And I was going through it because I was living in New York and I was about to be homeless. And this globally famous person, who if this woman walked in, we all would know who she is. And you know, it's like the equivalent of like Mariah Carey playing Harriet Tubman, or like Jada Pinkett Smith playing Harriet Tubman. And it's like they're throwing a lot of money at you, but you're like, hey, you still want the opportunity and the money. So you try to like subvert that and say, hey, what if you were just a producer on this? And they're like, no, I must play Harriet Tubman. And I'm like, but you're a white woman. but you're like Harriet Tubman is a dark-skinned black woman. Like I don't know. Like I don't know if I would like I would, because you it's all about having your integrity and knowing your price and not breaking on it. Hilariously, my girlfriend was like, yo, can you lose your integrity with the mortgage Negro? But it's like, I'm like, no, because no matter what, like let's say they make Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer and it's a TV show starring Jada Pinkett Smith or starring Cardi B, you know, for the rest of my life, like I can keep making comic books, but for the rest of my life, it's going to be associated with that bad project for however many years it decides to be. You know, they might get 8 seasons of Scarlett Johansson as Harriet Tubman.
What?
You know?
What?
She could do it.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson.
She could do anything.
Probably couldn't do it. But yeah, I think just knowing your...
I think she's played an Asian woman.
She has played an Asian, you know, she can play a black woman, like, probably. But just having your integrity and really holding true to that, like, no matter what's happening, whether you're about to be homeless, please don't wait to that situation, because that is the true test. But yeah, but also just know that if you're already in that room, there will always be other opportunities, and there will always be like a better person like around the corner. Like when I was thinking about, like I thought about signing this deal, because again, I was about to either move in with my mom or be homeless, and my lawyer and my mom both made what is it? They just said like, hey, like money's great, but in a decade, how are you going to feel about this? And like my lawyer gets 5% of this, you know. And my mom, of course, I'll spoil my mom. And they're like, hey, we don't think you should do this if you don't feel right about it. You know, like if you're able to get this far, you can find the right person for this.
Yeah.
So maybe you move back in with us and you figure it out. It's not the end of the world. There's still people that also make sure you have a good value of people around you who are team you, who will hold you up from spiritually. So yeah, that's my answer to the question. The long version.
I can pretty much just add on to what Greg said, which was we did have meetings with networks. We actually had a couple of instances where, like, we got asked very plainly about Tuskegee heirs. These are black children. Well, do they all have to be black? Oh my God. You talking about the pilots? Yeah. Yeah, we got other characters that's going to be in the cartoon, and we got other races in there. But if the thing I guess I want to say is, because we could have been thousandaires a lot sooner if we didn't really have an attachment to what we were doing. So if it isn't a passion project, if you don't care about what he just said, which is, we're going to give him right here and play Harry Tubman. We're going to make 3 of the Tuskegee Air pilots white or something else. If you don't care about the end result, because they're going to change it, that they'll let you know, y'all ain't going to get to write it. We're going to get somebody else to write it. It's going to be loosely based on that. The thing you created is going to be based on what you created. And they're going to change it. They're going to probably cut it up. Andre 3000, I got to work for Cartoon Network back when the Pop-Up Girls was popular. The art director there, when he saw our comic, he was like, do not give it to Cartoon Network. And I was like, for real? And this was early. I was like, really? I mean, I was thinking about going to talk to them, Adult Swim. We saw what Boondocks did. They had some success with that. I was like, why? He was like, they will absolutely change everything. He said, you will hate it. Trust me. He said, Andre 3000 had a show. What was it called? Classic 3000.
Yeah.
He said that was the blackest show he had ever seen when they brought it to him. Initially, when they pitched Andre's cartoon, everybody was black. And I don't know if you guys remember seeing that cartoon. It was just some people were black when it got to the thing. But he said they had hip hop. It was beautiful. The initial pitch, what they were brought to Cartoon Network was beautiful. He said he had to witness them tearing that show and rendering it into something that was like, Kool-Aid with a little bit of sugar. It was terrible compared to what they pitched. So if you don't care about that and you just, like, hey, I just need to make money, I want to get this credit, I want to get my name in the industry, then do that. Just let it go. People are going to be mad at you eventually when they find out you did this. But if you don't care, it's okay. But me and this guy, we care. All of our families know what we've been working on this long. And we're like, nah, we don't want to, sell out and just throw it to the wolves. We want it to be something valuable that's going to last way beyond us, generations beyond us. So that's really what it comes down to. But you have to know that when you go into those spaces, when you talk to these networks, know that it's not going to be the same unless you get lucky. Unless your cousin is Janet Jackson and she got all the money and she's paying for it and she knows intimately that you want it, they'll listen to Janet Jackson. If you get Denzel Washington, if you get somebody to vouch for you and say it has to be like this, because I said so. I'm Denzel Washington. We're gonna do it this way. The new Devil Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur is executive producer Lawrence Fishburne. I love that show, right? But it's probably because Lawrence Fishburne said it has to have all these things in it, and it got to have all these things in it. So her whole family's black. Her grandparents are in there. Her mama's in there, and it's well written. I can watch it with my daughter and my son. So that's where if you have the right representation or the right partners to walk in the room and champion, it has to be this way. So and so said so, and they're gonna be like, oh my God, well, Denzel, of course, we'll do it any way you want. Then you can get your IP the way you want to. But depending on who your family is. So.
For those out there that is striving to try to get into mainstream or produce their own project into print, whether it's indie or mainstream, what advice would you give anyone in the audience that is trying to get their work out there to the public?
For me, I would say, like follow what you're passionate about, what's important to you. It's not going to be easy at first. Anybody who's trying to, do something that they've never done before, it's hard. And we operate in a busy, noisy marketplace. So trying to carve out your lane is difficult. But like they've talked about, there's always going to be people who are going to try to, if they see the potential in you, they're going to try to pull you as soon as possible onto their IP and get you working on theirs. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but as you go along on your journey, you're going to be, you need to decide like what's important for you at that time. And like what's your long-term goal, where you want to be. I know for me and my husband and Burning Spear Comics, like for us, it's about establishing that legacy, creating stuff for the next generation of our family that they can continue to build upon. And if it takes us a little bit longer, that's cool. Because like at the end of the day, like I know that our stuff has potential, our hustle is insane, and it's really tough for people to outwork people who know how to work and have good product. So definitely focus on your craft, continue to believe in yourself, keep a good, strong circle around you, because you're gonna have those down times where you're gonna be like, man, do I even wanna do this anymore, right? Like, and it's really important for you to have good folks around you.
Yeah. I would say create, and create your own stuff, because if you talk to any editor, like any of like the big three, or even beyond, you say, hey, I want to draw comics, or I want to write comics, the first thing they're going to ask you is, let me see what you have.
Yes.
And they don't want to see, for the most part, I think with art, they're okay with like seeing, like if you want to do Batman or create your own little, Star Wars comic. But as far as writing goes, they want to see if you can really write.
Yep.
So the best way to show that is by having a comic ready to show them. So that is the way to go if you're trying to, reach like the big guys, work for a company. But it's also the way to go if you're trying to do it for yourself, right? Because like I throw this, we just recently printed this book after 20 plus years. I had to like threaten Marcus a few times because he's like a D, but like, no, her pussy's good. I'm like, it's still good, be quiet. But like creating this, we learned quickly that we could make something that people wanted, and we were selling them faster than we could print them. And even if it was just for like us between ourselves to say we can do this, that's important, right? So finish something. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't think this is perfect. You guys want to laugh at us, you can purchase one at the table and you can look at it and be like, whoa. There's going to be moments of that, but at the end of the day, like, I'm still proud of it because we got together. We barely knew each other at this time. We got together, we busted our tail, we neglected people that we probably shouldn't have been neglecting, and we focused and we finished something. And compared to what we know now, I can feel confident by saying, I didn't know what I was doing. Like, we didn't know, we were just doing it. But get something finished, and then you can go back and look at it and be like, okay, I'm not going to do that again. Let me fix what was wrong. So it works either way, because at the end of the day, you can't say I'm a comic creator or a comic writer or a comic artist and you don't have anything to show. You can't say it.
I was just going to say you should draw white people. Totally kidding.
Partly kidding.
I'm totally kidding. I just wanted to make sure everyone was paying attention. White people run for no, I think that just surrounding yourself with people that are team you, and also really chasing and following your bliss and things that keep you inspired. Also follow and chase things that you don't like, that don't resonate with you. And why, though, it's important to know. Like, I created Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer because I watched a movie that I hated. This movie called, no disrespect to the filmmakers, but I watched this movie called Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. And the movie, I just thought they could have been better, you know? Meditate, you know, take time to really get to know yourself. I know that sounds like silly, but really taking the time to know you and know how you work internally, doing that inner work, and really doing like doing a vibe check on you, because you can't connect to your art or your creativity if you're not first connected to yourself. And also, surround yourself with friends, family who are pure and positively team you, and will hold you accountable, and push away, like lovingly push away toxic friends and family. And I say just keep yourself engaged with like a creative accountability group if you can. Just to say like, hey, like have friends who are like, hey man, did you draw that page? Did you connect that editor? Did you write that page? And just to have that to keep you engaged. And also, think about like what type of role. I know I'm saying a lot of stuff. It's been like 10 years of this, but I think like really being clear on what you want, like what experience you want to have in the next 5 years. I'm not just talking about like money or like fame, but like what you want the work that you make to be, and the type of people you want to work with. Like money, like I know people who have a lot of money, but they're working together and they hate each other. And they get up miserable every day. Fame and success intensifies who you already are naturally. So I think taking the time to have a life, fall in love, take that trip, go for a walk, have that beautiful child. What's it called? That's it. That's all I got.
I'm gonna do a rapid answer because I don't want to take too long. I can say now, and I have to tell this to upcoming artists now, is that I've never applied to work for any of the people I work for. But that's because I didn't know that talent scouts work for the companies that I work for. I got to be a lead character designer on an animated series called Hair Love recently, and the EPs didn't even know how I got there. They was like, Marcus, did you apply for this? I was like, no, I was going to ask you how I got here. They was like, I don't know. Maybe one of our talent scouts, and they had to figure out which talent scout felt it. But they had a unique problem. Sony Picture Animation Studios could not find an artist that understood African American culture to design African American characters for animation. They had endless money. They told me how many artists they went through. They went to Africa. They hired artists that I knew. And the EPs weren't happy. And it was like, they saw my portfolio on Instagram. So if you don't think that your Instagram page or whatever timeline you're putting your work on is being seen, just remember there's a job called talent scout at all of these companies, and they're constantly looking to solve a problem. Apparently Marvel knows my page, and I didn't know that. I post all kinds of stuff that, I post, I love Storm, but I don't draw Storm the way they draw Storm. I draw Storm with natural hair, afros, locks, with thick hips and stuff. But they never hired me for Storm, but they hired me for Black Panther. They hired me for Captain America, and they hired me just recently for Spider-Man. I said yes to all of those, but I told them, hey, you want to draw a storm real quick if you got some time. But draw and post what it is you are interested in and working for. I'm a character designer. I draw character designs. I post character designs. But I also write fan fictions, and I write the stories I want to see as a fan. I did Popeye and Goku, Popeye and Dragon Ball Z crossover. I did maybe 7 images. I wrote 3 to 4 paragraphs for each image. That was years ago. The people that own the rights to Popeye found that by way of it going viral on Facebook. They didn't know who I was because they didn't tag me. They got on Twitter. It went viral when they posted it. And someone tagged me and they reached out and said, hey, do you want to do a 10-page comic for Popeye? I said, hell yeah, let's do it. I said, who's going to write it? Well, we read your fan fiction. We thought you could write it. I'm like, yeah, I can write it. Let's do it. So I'm now doing a 5-issue official comic book for Popeye the Sailor Man that I didn't apply for. You see what I'm saying? So if you're looking for the industry to come to you, it may happen. But in the sense to say, like what Greg was saying, make sure you have something that says this is what you do already before they hire you for that job, because it's very unlikely that if I didn't post those fan fictions that they would say, oh, we read your writing. Because if there's nothing to read, how do they know? But I've never been credited as a writer in the comic industry officially. So this will be my first debut as a writer and artist for a nearly 100-year-old character that's being published nationally. I didn't apply for that. But that's what, if you're looking to get into the industry, just make sure you're putting out that work. But granted, if you have a page and you're posting what you ate for dinner and what kind of shoes you bought, make a new page. Make a portfolio page for just the content you want to be hired for. I don't post pictures of my kids. I don't post pictures of me. Very rarely do I post anything outside of what I want to, my art to be recognized for. It's not about me. It's about my work. So make a new page and just post your work. So that's where the industry will find it.
I don't want to be that guy, but that animated series is called Young Love, not Hair Love. Hair Love.
Hair Love.
And I know, I just want people. Have you guys seen it? It's on HBO. Anybody? Yeah. He did like the character design, like for pretty much everybody, right? Yeah.
5 characters when I started.
Yeah. And I got to hear a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. So if you guys want, meet me on the corner.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
But no, so it's a really good series. I enjoy it, and y'all need to go check it out.
Now, for each of you, if you had your dream company and whoever to work on your IP with no restrictions, what would that be?
Oh man.
What's the first part you said?
Go ahead.
Dream
The question is, if you could have your dream company with no restrictions on money or anything and hire whoever you want to work on it, what would that be and who would be on it?
Oh, I don't know. That's a hard one for me. I guess mine is a children's book, so I would want like an animation company, so maybe like Pixar. I don't know who I'd want on it though. I haven't given it that much thought yet.
I got too many properties.
Go ahead and start putting it out there.
Yeah.
I could see like Little Rock Files. I would want that to be like if I could work with like FX or somebody like that. That would be cool. Tuskegee, probably like Pixar or what you call it, DreamWorks.
Oh yeah. I'll take it.
Marcus seems to be okay with DreamWorks. Sonica. So the vision for that is like hard. I would need either like a real anime type of or live action. I don't know.
Line 4?
George?
There's a bunch. There's a bunch of people that would be cool to work with if, like, we got to, like, control, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Total control.
Yeah.
But mostly it's just gonna be us.
Okay, wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, we got 10 minutes left.
What you get?
All right, for Harriet Tubman, I think it's kind of sort of a dream company, but I really want Danielle Denweiler to play Harriet Tubman. So we're working on that. For Nightmare in Newark, it would be great if Jordan Peele would answer my call for Nightmare in Newark. For Nightmare
That would be
in Newark,
dope.
Jordan Peele.
Jordan
please
Peele.
answer my call.
Putting it out there.
Please answer my text messages. Jordan Peele for Nightmare in Newark. Which is about a young woman who's coming out to her family on Thanksgiving, and in the middle of her coming out to her family, an alien invasion erupts in her town. So she has to survive this alien invasion and come out to her family. It's pretty much like Friday meets Cloverfield, and I think Jordan Peele would be really good for it. So yeah, come on, Jordan Peele, answer my Instagram messages. Tell me to be on red.
Jordan Peele.
It's easy. So if you guys haven't heard of it, it's called they're based in London. It's an animation studio called The Line Animation.
Yes.
She probably knows what it is. They don't even do series, but I feel like we get LeBron at the helm. Not really, but if he can just get his checking information, we can make them do the whole series. But they're a fantastic animation studio. I want Cree Summers. Cree Summers can come on. Who else? I'll say Pixar. I'm not mad at Pixar. What's the one in Texas? They did our Powerhouse Animation Studios. I'll take them too. They did Castlevania on Netflix. I'll take them too. So if you guys haven't seen, anybody seen on Disney Plus? Star Wars did an anthology of animation shorts. I'll take any of those companies. I'll take them because they did a great job. So, but mostly we just need to hit the lottery like twice, and then we can just go anywhere we want.
And I may have made a face just for the camera. I may have made a face when Marcus said LeBron, but it's not because he put up a couple of sneakers recently, like that house party thing. It should have never happened. So if I made up that face, I didn't mean to. Just for the camera. Anybody online, just in case LeBron wants to throw something out.
All right, as we wrap it up, please tell the audience how they can follow you and also support any of your projects.
You can follow Moana Nui Podcast on YouTube, also on Instagram, all the places. Moana Nui Podcast.
Tuskegee Airs everywhere. Search for Sonica in a lot of places as well. Y'all can come back to the table, ask us anything. We usually have answers for it. We gotta be quick. Look at all those cosplayers over there.
Yeah.
Yes, follow me at D Crownson and at Kingwood Comics, Kingwood_Comics, and we're selling Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer comics and posters right over there where it says Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer, and I'll sign all of your comics. Yeah.
It's Marcus, the visual. But I don't want to tell you nothing. You're going to come to that table right there along the wall by the exit center. No, I'm joking. But yes, I got a website. I do social media, Marcus the Visual. You can follow my work. And then my birthday's coming up next weekend, so I need a new printer. If y'all want to give me y'all cash app. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. If this the land of the free, it was a freedom then, when they annexed Hawaii and called it Cedar Lands, without any type of payment and no signing off. Called themselves the Republic in 1894. 1.2 million acres overtaken from the native Hawaiians. When they resisted, the West retaliated in violence and erasure. The Hawaiian language is banned as part of colonialism's plan to expand, yeah. Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe. As a part of their ongoing war with Asia, used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No regard for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell. Even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell. Even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will. So if we put Hawaii in a perspective, well, Black and Asian history is interconnected. Considering the fight with the Pacific, then of course versus Asia, they was treated as a middleman for war, but didn't let the Western colorism run its course. Cause dark skin was a sign of dignity to core. The land was taken in the name of capitalism, when prior to it was an actual kingdom. Clap back at the system. Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe. As a part of their ongoing war with Asia, used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No regard for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell. Even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell. Even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. So many stories left to tell. Even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell. Even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will.